we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done.
G'day, welcome to Art with Alison. I'm really excited that this is number 100 video, and yeah, I didn't know if I'd ever get this far. When I first started, I just did it for a bit of fun, and yeah, I've been enjoying it all the way, so really pleased. Thanks so much to all of you who have subscribed. I've got over 650 subscribers at the moment, so you know, I think that's alright. 100 videos, 650 subscribers, I think that's pretty pleased. So thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed. And alright, today I'm going to be doing a few experiments, so I'll explain that in a minute. Alright, thanks heaps again, and yeah, I'll get on with the pour. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing a couple of little pours, just little ring pours, and I'm just going to be testing out the difference in how it turns out if I use yellow with cool blue and cool red, or yellow with magenta and it's almost a cyan. It's actually cobalt hue, but it's close to a cyan. Alright, so we're just going to try that out and see how the colours combine when they're mixed next to each other. Right, it's only a small canvas, so we only need a little bit. So it's basically to do like, oh that's really thick, to do like a rainbow type effect is the idea. So this is actually global cool yellow. Okay, so I've got it now, so it just does a nice, it's flowing nicely. It's a little mand, or a fairly big mand on a mand, and it leaves trail for a little while, which is the same as I've got for the others. So it's only a little cup. Just have yellow, which I might have a bigger amount. And then the blue, and of course that will likely mix to make green. That's what I want to see, what will happen, whether we will get that. It's highly, highly likely. It's about to drip. Now the red. And go back to yellow. Blue. Yep, dropped in there. To watch that. And some red. That should be plenty. It's only an 8 by 8 inch canvas, or 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres, so I don't need very much paint. Let's get those out of the way. Okay, as I said, it's just going to be a straight pour. Might start off with just a little bit of the yellow in the middle. To help it to move across the canvas, really. That's all. noises in the background of my dogs snoring and snorting and carrying on. Will do. I'll just put some pegs under there. I think my table must be crooked. Always seems to do that, doesn't it? Just while I recenter that, and I'll just, this is just some leftover paint scooped up, and it's a bit runnier than what this paint is, so it should slide over it really easily. It's just to help it to flow so that it doesn't roll over on itself. Seem to have lost the red, don't we? Except on that very edge. Might show up when we stretch it out a bit. So all this outside part will be tipped off. This won't become part of the painting. So it's just to help it to move so it doesn't roll over on itself. Then you have more choice over what happens with the composition. And what I'm intending to do now is to stretch out the bands of colours and see what colours we get, basically. Just give it a little torch so we can burst any bubbles. I'm not expecting many cells in this. Certainly no silicone or any such thing like that added. It's just Floetrol. All the paints are just mixed with Floetrol. No water. And being the Araldo paints, they're not as likely to get cells as a lot of the other types of paints. Well, mind you, it depends actually. I find the more watered down they are, the more likely to get cells. Move these out the way. Now, looking back at some of my earlier videos and having a bit of a chuckle, ones I hadn't, that I did before I started my YouTube channel, but I was just starting to record just mainly to see, for a record, so that later on you can go back and go, hey, how did I do that? And yeah, I am learning from looking at those to say, oh, okay, so that's what I did back then. Because I was using my paints a lot more runny, and I seem to be getting more cells than with the thicker consistencies, as in with the Araldo paints. So it's in the shade, I just realised. I bought a new light, which is over in the corner here, it'll be beside me. Take that back to the centre. And just come off this corner. I'm loving the lines where the red is. Parts with the yellow is a bit boring, so I might just stretch out that red a bit more, just centre that up a bit more, and get rid of some of that yellow. Stretch out those bands with the red and the blue, because it looks far more interesting than the yellow that's turned green, of course, because it's mixing with the blue. Okay, yeah, that's quite nice. You can see I need to move the light to be more overhead if possible. Actually, I'll just point out something to you. Yeah, I didn't really count on that, but that horrible grey colour that I put underneath, it is actually coming through as some little cells. So, yeah, as it wasn't a very nice colour, I might actually tip that off. So I guess that's something I should think about when adding a surrounding base colour. Is it a colour that I'm going to want to become part of my painting? Because, yeah, I don't know. Don't know if it's going to move anymore, actually. Yeah, just be patient. Be patient. It's moving slowly. So that's something to think about. I had actually thought of using one of the, I was actually going to use more of that yellow, which I should have done, because it wouldn't have mattered if I had yellow cells coming through. That would have worked in quite well. Constantly learning. It's like with anything in life, the moment you think you know everything, it's when you stop learning. Okay, now we'll turn it around so you're in the light. Head towards that corner. Well, at least we're getting to stretch the bands out, which I said was my intent. I really do see every pour as an experiment. It is all a learning process every time. The cells are coming back up over here. What happens is I've heard it's a process of when you're going back and forth. It agitates the colours underneath and encourages them to start moving, I guess, and then they can, if they are lighter in weight, then they will come to the surface, something like that. If you can explain it better, please do in the comments. All right. That will do. Okay, we've still got them in that corner. Never mind. I might just actually, there's a bit of a gap there, so I might just use a little bit of straight red off here. Another disadvantage of using a yucky colour. So your added base coat is that you end up with it on the mat, so it's harder to salvage your colours for your corners. I don't know, I think it's too red now, isn't it? Maybe I should still try and get something off here instead. Okay, that'll do. That will do, and I'll get on with the next one in just a tick. Okay, for this one I'm using the Global Yellow, Esmeralda Magenta and Esmeralda Cobalt. I'm hoping the Cobalt is a little bit like cyan. I think it's similar. And we'll see what that creates when they mix together. So I'll just start with a little bit of yellow in the base. When I say a little bit, yeah, a fair amount. And then the red, well, magenta. Which you might have noticed in your printers, if you've got a colour printer, when you change your colour inks, the colours are yellow, magenta and cyan, and from those colours they make every other colour. So what I've heard is, unlike what we all learnt at school, or at least those of us maybe from my generation and above, is that the three main colours, what's that one there? The three main colours are yellow, red and blue, but in actual fact they're not what then make up every other colour in the spectrum, which is what we were always taught. So learn new things all the time. Yeah, that's why I wanted to try this out, to see what happens with these colours rather than just the straight red, yellow and blue. Whether or not these make... Oh, I shouldn't have done that one. I should have done the red, the magenta. Oh well, it's around the outside. Won't matter so much. Alright, so put those aside, and actually I'll just put a little bit of yellow in the middle. Which I might then have some red, magenta, I should say. It's just to help it to glide along. All right. Just doing a round pour. Wow, no, those colours are pretty. There, because it seems to roll off in that direction. And I'll just give that a torch. Wow, those colours are so much prettier. That's amazing, actually. think for the outside part I'll just use this blue. And if I get any cells popping through, it will all match. Well, I think, well, those colours are so much prettier than the pour I just did before, and I'll just show you here now. This is the first one I did. Look at those colours, they're really quite dull. And those colours, they're just bright as. Love it. Alright, take these away now. Stretch it out. I've got some pretty little red cells there. And the reason I did the swirl in the middle is because I didn't want it all just being yellow, and I could see those pretty bands of colour. So that's why I let it come out into a peak. Let that go off. Way. I think that's really pretty. Just see if I can get a little bit of this yellow on the corner here. That's a lot brighter than the other, but we'll see. Might blend in. Just give it another torch. I'll just bring it back so you can see it. Noises in the background are my dogs, by the way. Don't think I mentioned that yet. I live with a house full of dogs, and I've got a bit of snoring happening behind me. It's night time and they're all in here snoring away. So yeah, as it was explained to me about the magenta and the cyan and the yellow, is that you get red. Like, you think, how can you get red except with red? But it does create red. And green and orange and every other colour. And purple. Yeah. And lovely bright colours compared to that other one that's so dull. That's really good to know. Alright, I'll bring you in for some close-ups. So sorry, I forgot to plug the microphone in for the last painting, which was this one. So here we are. You can see it's so much brighter and happier than this one. This one was done with the cool red, cool yellow and cool blue. And this one was done with magenta, a cool yellow, and well, it's actually cobalt blue, but it's close as I had to cyan. And wow, I'm just pretty blown away by how much brighter those colours are. Alright, so thanks again for everyone who has already subscribed to my channel. It's pretty exciting to be doing my 100th video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. Remember that it's free. And yeah, pretty excited to have done my 100th video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll keep going to do another 100 or more, I'm sure. Alright, thanks heaps again. Catch you again soon. Bye for now.